Barkolum, party staff bar. Anuki fipa ashuk shil kolum, wakul ashuk kalun fini. Anuki farugun shil kolum, wakul kalun farugun shilni. Anuki wahed ka kolum, wakul kalun wahed kani. Nuk aikilu anjihu kama farugun shil kolum, wakub kama fariyudun. Nuk aikilu akwenu kuldek nuk akfizu fi kolum, kama tawul kama kafuzi kalun liya amidu fi kolum. Anuki kabaha wahud, kolum kalun anuki. Kolum yakul nuk aikilu, kolum dora nuk abmilu. Anthem for all. Okay, guys, we're going to continue with this Anunnaki live here. Last time we did part 2, and we spoke about how the word Anunnaki is not actually a specific race of alien beings. We spoke about how the cuneiform word or the Sumerian word Anunnaki is a title rather than a name. So it's not giving you a specific species of extraterrestrial or a specific type of alien. It's talking about more than 23 different species of alien who are who came together under a truce, kind of like how the UN does on Earth. Yeah. So today we're going to go a bit further on the details regarding the Anunnaki and how it's not actually a name of a species of aliens like we've been fooled and misled. It's actually speaking about certain different types of extraterrestrial beings, yeah, that fall under the title Anunnaki. So give it 2 minutes, just let my people join the live, and then I'll just go straight ahead and blast off. If you want to put down any questions on the feed, put down your questions and I'll try to, I know I go on a tangent sometimes, I'll try to address the questions that flick up on the page, okay? So give it 2 minutes and we'll start. Yeah, if we get 10 people, we'll start. So I'm gonna do also, yeah, while we're waiting, I'm gonna do the I'm gonna share with you lot a very special affirmation. If you have a notepad and a pen, I'll give you a minute to get a notepad and a pen, or you can do it after, because I post all of these lives on my YouTube channel after I've done on TikTok. I save them and post them on my YouTube for people who didn't manage to catch the live, because I've got a lot of them people, yeah. The YouTube is at TZT Book Mafia. We've also got a Rumble page, Mem 9, with a lot of jewels still on the Rumble page that survived the culling that YouTube put us through. So yeah, we was talking about the Anunnaki, a specific founder race, yeah, that is, you could say, the most powerful out of all of these alien groups. They're the ones that are running the show, yeah? Everybody is not on the same level. All of these species of extraterrestrials are not all sitting at the same level and running the show. There's only one group that's really running the show. And this is where we get the concept of God from, because that one group, how they run things, they've got a most high among them. They elect a most high among them to keep the balance and be the caretaker of the universe on this side of the black hole. So first, you guys might have catch me at the end when I was giving the affirmation, when I said it's a metaphysical quantum affirmation, and I'll give it to you in the ancient language, the secret language of tones, Nuwabic, and then I'll give you the translation of it so you know exactly what I'm saying. So it goes like this. Party staff bat, that's the affirmation. Anuki fi pa ashuk shil kolum, wakul ashuk kalun fi ni. Anuki farug hun shil kolum, wakul kalun farugun shilni. Anuki wahed ka kolum, wakul kalun wahed ka ni. Nuk aikilu anjihu kama farugun shil kolum, wakub kama fariyudun. Nuk aikilu akwenu kuldek nuk akfizu fi kolum, kama tawul kama kafuzi kalon liya amidu fi kolum. Anuki kabahawa hud, kolum kalun anoki, kolum yakul nuk aikilu. Yeah, that's my supplication. And what I said in the English was, Party staff ba, the affirmation. I am in the love of all, and all love is in me. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I can succeed as a part of all and fail as an individual. I can be all that I wish in the all, as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. 𝓆𝓆𝓏𝓃𝓏𝓃𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏𝓏 I am never alone. All is, I am. All can, I can. All does, I do. Amun or amen. Yeah, so that's the affirmation. Now let's crack on, guys. Let's get with this. So I'm sure you remember us talking about Enki and Enlil in part 2, right? And we was talking about the founder race being the Riskians, who come from the Lyra constellation. The Lyra constellation, as we said in the last live, is just behind Orion, which is known as the new heaven. So when you're dealing with the Bible and it's telling you in Aramaic or Aramic Hebrew, Kisil, that's their word for Orion. Kisil, you'll find it in Job 9:9 in Strong's Lexicon Hebrew Dictionary, and Kisil translates as Orion. Okay. Also, the word heaven, they translate in that word from Uranos, yeah, which is Orion in Greek. So they're giving you two words for heaven from the Aramic Hebrew, Kisil, and from the Greek, yeah, Uranos, heaven. And also, I want you to understand the word heaven in English comes from the word haven. A haven is a place where ships come to harbour. It's not some mystical cloud where everybody's just sitting down doing nothing, being lazy and getting fat. Yeah, when they're talking about this heaven, it's from the Old English word haven, a place where ships come to harbour. In this case, we're talking about motherships. We're not talking about ships in the sea. Yeah, we're talking about spaceships, motherships that harbour in the heavens. This is why they say star systems, because it's like a traffic system. It's like a road system. This is the way they travel the known cosmos in FLT. Light travels within a year 6 million miles. So 1 light year is the distance light travels, yeah, going at that speed, 186,272 feet per second. At that speed, within a year, light can travel 6 million, so is it trillion or million miles, and that's 1 light year. The closest galaxy they say to us is the Andromeda galaxy, right? And they say that's 12.7 light years away from us. That's the closest one. So if you times that 12.7, yeah, by 6 million, yeah, times 6 million, yeah, by 12.7, and that's the distance we're talking about, how far this closest next door Andromeda is to us. Anyway, let me crack on, because that's not in my notes. Remember what I told you, I like to come with bullet points. So more time, if you guys are going to come to my lives, come with a just a simple piece of paper and a pen, because I like to give people notes that they can go and research for themselves and verify for themselves, because I don't want nobody to believe nothing I'm saying, okay? Anyway, so the Riskians, these are the black woolly-haired gods who left their own constellation in Lyra behind Orion because of war. The reptilians attacked them. I'm going to tell you exactly how they did it. When we're talking about the Galactic Council, and we'll go into that too, when we're talking about the Galactic Federation, it really covers 19 galaxies on this side of the black hole, and it's dealing with 23 species of extraterrestrials, or 23 different species of Anunnaki. That's where we as humans get our chromosomes from. Each one of them specific beings contributed a chromosome to this Project Blue Rock. We're going to get into all of this. And so humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. You get 23 from your mom and 23 from your dad, which gives us 46 chromosomes. The original organic humans had melanin, which is the divine pigment, which is the most stable molecule in creation, can download the whole electromagnetic spectrum. This is why melanin is more expensive than platinum and gold. If you buy the gram, melanin is one of the most expensive things on the market. Why do you think so much black people are going missing? So these Riskians, when they set up this Galactic Council, because they had 2 wars, yeah, there's 2 major wars in the Bible, in the heavens. The first major war was against the old Galactic Republic. Now we have a new Galactic Republic. So when you turn to the Revelation story, Revelation 12 verses 7 to 9, it tells you, and the old serpent fought against Michael. Michael fought against this dragon, this serpent, reptilians, right? And notice how they still say the dragon and his angels. So the dragon is still classed as an angel. These reptilians are still angels, whether you want to see them as demons or whatever. Angelic beings, seraphim, cherubim, good, bad. So in the Bible, it's still talking about this dragon. He's with angels. Michael fought with his angels against the dragon and his angels. That means they're all angels, or they're all Anunnakis. You understand what I'm saying? So this old serpent was named Tarnush, or if you're going by Sumerian tablets, they use the name Zuen, or you can say it Enzu, because it reads the same back to front. Yeah, some people say Enzu, some people say Zuen. But this is the same character called Humbaba, yeah? And what he was a Vulcan. We're going to get into that too, which means he wasn't specifically a Riskian, like one of them Riskian Anunnakis. He had an opposite nature. And then he chose, because of his opposite nature, he chose to go and breed with serpent people, reptilians. And what came out from that mix is human-looking snakes that speak with a whisper. So they look like us. They don't look like lizards, like the regular lizards that we know, reptilians. They look like us, like humans, but they're reptilian. They're reptilian genetics, they're reptilian minded, consciousness, the whole stuff. So these Vulcans, yeah, are the top of the food chain when it comes to reptilians. The ones we see, these lizards with the wings and the protruding bits coming out of them and that, they're the warriors. That's the warrior class. They're not the royal class. Do you understand? The royal class look like us. They don't even look like reptilians. Okay? So anyway, these Vulcans and the reptilians that were with them, yeah, they took advantage of the Galactic Council, because now we're going back 66 billion years, by the way. Now the Galactic Council has been set up, just like the UN here on Earth. It's supposed to prevent World War III. We're not going to have no more wars among us and shit. The UN's going to come and put sanctions and bring people to justice and tribunals and all of that shit. They got this stuff going on in the cosmos, or in the higher world. And that's why there's a saying, so above, so below, so within, so without, in the Emerald Tablets. You see what I'm saying? So now, this Galactic Council, because they wanted to encourage cohesion between the different species of Anunnakis and stuff, now this war's ended, they had an exchange program, which means, let's take 50 Earthlings from Earth and take them to Lyra, the planet Risk, yeah? And you stay there, you 50 students from Earth, and you 50 students from Iluin, you come to Earth and learn about Earth. So you had a lot of that going on before man was on the scene. This is when they were sorting out their own squabbles and all of that shit that's spoken in Revelation 12, verses 7 to 9. So now they've sorted that out. The reptilians got smart. They was like, yo, we might as well use this exchange program and go to the heavens, the high heaven, what is being called heaven in the Bible, Orion, Lyra. You understand? So a group of these reptilians end up going to the high heavens, which is Iluin. And when they go there, they just appear in the skies, because at first they never even had the technology to do FLT travel, faster than light travel, and travel interplanetary and shit, which becomes was it type 2 civilization. They can travel to next planets and all of that type of stuff. Once that was achieved, they utilized this student exchange program, got their way into Lyra now, and to make a long story short, they were given rules. Okay, you guys can only stay on this continent. There's 3 continents on the planet that they went to, the main planet where all these Anunnakis, these Riskians come from. They was like, yo, you lot can stay here. It's the exchange thing. But you have to have an escort when you're going around to different continents. There's all types of stuff set up. These reptilians negated the terms of the deal, yeah? And they started attacking the planet to take it over. And Tarnush, or Humbaba, or Zuen, he used what we would call on Earth a shield depleter and messed up the ozone layer on that planet. He whacked the planet with a shield depleter, put a hole in the ozone layer. This planet Risk, which has got 3 suns, not 1, and the 3 suns that it's working with is like 100 times bigger than our sun. So imagine the type of ultraviolet UV radiation and stuff that's coming through onto that planet. Now religion makes us think about these Anunnakis and these gods like they're some kind of spirits. Like they don't die, they just live forever. But we know that's all bullshit. It's like I said the last time, according to an ant might think, yo, them humans live forever. They don't never die. Or a gnat might live 3 days, yeah? And then, so when it's looking at, if it could look at our life, it would look like, bastard, these humans live forever. We just exist for a blink of an eye, and these humans are living like, yo, they wouldn't even be able to comprehend that type of stuff. So it's the same with us. When we're thinking about these angelic beings, these Anunnaki, Elohims, Necherus, what seems an eternity to us is not an eternity to them. Yeah? It's not an eternity to them. But anyway, let's go on with the story, yeah? I got my notes down here. So yeah, and the Anunnaki conquered death a long time ago. They're about 100,000 years ahead of where we are in our technology, whether you're talking about science or medics or any of that stuff. They conquered death a long time ago, yeah? We're still fighting with it, yeah? They conquered that shit. Anyway, so this galactic council now, a big war kicked off when these reptilians attacked the planet Risk, yeah? They attacked the Riskians' main planet. Remember, Iluin is the 19th galaxy out of 19 on this side of the black hole. We're the 18th galaxy, the Milky Way. Next to us, when you go through Orion and Sirius, you get to the 19th galaxy, which is called Iluin. And Iluin means place on high, or the high realm. And it's linked to the Hebrew word for the most high, which is El Elyoin. So, and both them words are linked to the word illusion, like Elysium. All these words are coming from the same place. Eli, Elysium, Ilu, Allah, El Elyoin El. You understand? Iluin, all the same, yeah? So this is the place on high, yeah? The new heaven. And let me tell you this, it's newer than earth. It's not something that's heaven's been around forever. After the first war happened with the insectoids, and them Anunnakis had literally had to run off from Pegasus. When they created, let me stick to the notes because I'll give you it in sequence, yeah? Guys, this might take an hour too, yeah? Because the last time I was just sort of skitty because I wasn't prepared. Okay? So out of this group now, this big war with the reptilians, Zuen, attacking the planet Risk, yeah? A big war kicks off and they get defeated, these reptilians. That's what's recorded in the Bible. It's speaking about the old galactic republic. It's saying that, yo, there was an old serpent and him and his angels fought against Michael and his angels, and they were cast out of heaven. There's no more space for them left in these heavens. So they got cast out of these Orion skies. And this is where you hear people like Alex Collier and William Tompkins saying, yo, somebody dumped them here. These reptilians are pissed off because they got dumped in this third dimension, and they're pissed. So they're just bullying everything down here like, yo, this is our realm, yeah? We're pissed. No one can mess with us. We're just going to come and take over everything, whether you're a grey, whether you're a human, whether you're a Bigfoot. They don't give a shit what you are. If you're a Hindu, they're going to mix and mess around with you. So now you got half Hindu, half reptilians, or half greys, half red. They've hybridized everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because they are recalcitrant beings. They're blue blood, so they don't have love and emotion and all of that type of stuff. A reptilian will have a baby, and that baby has to fend for itself. If the baby dies, they'll say, yo, that little nigga was weak. They're not like us, where they have motherly instincts and love and all of that stuff. That baffles them. Do you see what I'm saying? So anyway, they got dashed out of the Orion skies. But before this happened, this same Tarnush that attacked their planet, this Vulcan reptilian, you'll see him in some of my videos that I've posted, yeah? I got pictures of all these niggas in my new book. It's like 800 pages. All the pictures of all these characters are in there and they're real. They're Dr. York pictures that have been put through the AI machine, the enhanced. Yo, how would this guy really look, this drawing? And yo, it's magic how these pictures are just, yo, that's exactly how the drawing looked. Yo, so you understand what I'm saying? Before this happened, this Tarnus Zuen, who's the Vulcan, the humanoid reptilians who speak with a whisper, he went round attacking all of the Riskians who weren't warriors, because when he went round the cosmos, like let's say he went to Sirius and Andromeda and Pleiades and Arcturus, all these different constellations, there was Anunnaki Riskians there, but they was just explorers. They're just the first groups that have left their place, because remember, their planet's now in jeopardy. They need to leave their planet and seek gold to fix the atmosphere, because out of all the metals, you can wax gold, beat it out to the finish till it's literally like a piece of paper like this. And once it's like that, it's literally weightless. So you can suspend it in the air in the form of particles and these little sheets. And what they do is reflect the UV rays back out. They reflect most of the UV rays back out into the cosmos. So it's not coming down and beating down onto their surface. So this gives their planet, the hole, time to heal. It's just like Earth with our hole in our ozone layer. If you give it enough time, it will start closing, like we've seen with 2020 when everyone was locked down. So there's no cars on the road, all this pollution, the planes are grounded, the trains are grounded, the ships are grounded. No pollution's going on. These animals were out here dancing and shit. You understand? And then I remember seeing the report like, yo, the ozone layer shrunk since we've been locked down and that. Obviously, it's open back up now because we're back out doing what we do. But it's the same principle you can apply to the Anunnaki's world, risk. And they had 3 suns. So the deterioration of their planet was happening much faster than we see happening here on our planet. And we see how peak it is here with what it's doing to our climate and our world here. And theirs is like 100 times worse than ours. So their elders, remember this, on their planet, the Anunnaki are not gods. On their planet, they have beings over them. That's called etherians. They're just energy beings. They don't even densify. It's just like a light being. And that's their gods, yeah? Or their elders. So their elders told them, yo, you niggas are going to have to leave this planet, yeah? And go and seek gold, yeah? And give them the method of how to fix the planet. So they built these 12 Nibirus, 12 of them, not one. 12 Nibiru, and launched them out in different directions into the cosmos. All these Anunnakis or Riskians, let's use that word, the black-haired, woolly-haired beings that was on these crafts going to explore new temporary homes, they're just explorers. They're not warriors. They're not disagreeables. So now to get back to Tarnush, he starts going around all these worlds, bullying all the beings, killing loads of them, even the Riskians, yeah? He started killing them, yeah? One of them, he raped her. Her name was Myleta, yeah? She's an Anunnaki Riskian. He raped her, and that's how you get Satan. So Satan's even worse than his dad. Because remember, when you see the word Satan in the Bible, it's not always talking about Satan who we know as Satan. Sometimes it's talking about his dad. Yes, Satan has a dad, and he has a granddad if you go in the Quran. And it tells you Tagut, and then Humbaba, and then Shaitan. And so ask yourself, why do they call him the Prince of Darkness? How come he's not the king? He's not the king because his father's the king of darkness. He's the prince, you understand? He's number 3 in his order. You got his granddad, Tagut, yeah? And then you got Zuen, Humbaba, and then you got him, number 3, who's the Prince of Darkness. Anyway, he's half Riskian and half reptilian, Vulcan. So they didn't know what to do with him. When Michael and them have defeated this Tarnush and slew Tarnush, yeah, the fleets of Anu, when they came into contact with this devil, he's just a Ute man. Yes, they're babies too, and they grow too. It's not no click the finger and puff the magic dragon and the devil's just a big man. This nigga was born too. So when they met him, he was a Ute man. So Michael was like, listen, maybe we can refine him and breed out the bad side because his mum's one of us. His mum's Myleta. So being that he's half Anunnaki, maybe if we teach him right and train him right, we can like steer past that part of his genetics. No, it didn't happen. When you read the Bible, they tell you what happened. They had this Satan in heaven with them, or on Nibiru with them, and he was like the leader of the choir. He used to sing the praises of Anu, and then he turned stale. His genetics started kicking in, and he started saying things like, I don't believe in Anu. I believe you Yahwehans, you 24 elders, we're going to talk about them too. You 24 elders, you've made up this shit about Anu so that y'all can keep power. You understand? And so he started teaching other than the facts. Other than the facts means religion. He was in heaven preaching religion. Yo, alternative. Yo, fuck this Anunnaki thing. Yo, forget Anu. Let's do our own thing. 1/3 of them got chucked out. Yeah? And they got dumped on Earth. Where before his father and them, they got dumped out of the Orion skies. They didn't necessarily get chucked on Earth. They just got dumped into this lonely realm. When you're dealing with his son, the Halal, the Satan, the devil, they got dumped on Earth. Earth was their playground. That's why you keep hearing it today. Yo, Earth is the devil's playground. He was here before you was. This was his prison. Do you understand what I'm saying? They got dumped down here. And like I'm saying, him being half Riskian and half Vulcan, reptilian, he's supposed to be one of the 100 most brilliant personalities in his species. So out of all them reptilians, because he's got this mix with the Riskian Anunnaki now, he's like a messiah to them. This guy's special and he's unpredictable because they're not like us here on Earth. We just see a girl with a big body and like, yo, I want to sleep with her, we sleep with her, whatever. This guy's got muscles. Yo, we don't really care about genetics. We more care about aesthetics. Yo, she looks nice. Or my man looks buff. That's how we rock. You understand? They don't do it like that over there. It's all about genetics. They're like, yo, if you and you have a child, then the child's going to be this nature. Nah, you and her can't breed. Listen, you have to breed with her. They used to do it like that way. They don't have no unpredictable personalities. Everybody that's born, they know the nature of that person. So when you get to the devil, Tarnush, raping this Anunnaki, now he's created an unpredictable personality, which is your devil, or your Diabolus, or your Lucifer, or your Shaitan, or your Satan. This is an unpredictable personality, and he's fucking brilliant. It's not like he's dumb. He'll tell you more about God than you know. He'll fool you for you to think, yo, my man worships God. No, he don't. He's just smarter than you are. The only Anunnakis that were smarter than him was Enki and Murder. That's it. He was smarter than everyone else. This is how much of a problem this is. Let me go on now. So that's separate. That's Vulcans and reptilians and how they come into the story. Yeah. So let's switch back to the Riskians now. These humanoid Anunnaki. Even before this devil story, yeah, when Anu and them came here to find the goal, came to Earth to find the goal, there was already reptilians living on this planet. Peaceful reptilians, benevolent reptilians. We have some here, like your turtle. They don't all eat meat. Turtles eat friggin' leaves and shit. They're vegetarian reptilians. So just like down here in Mother Nature, you have the same up there in Mother Nature. You have reptilians who don't get down on this disagreeable evil stuff. They peaceful, they eating plants and stuff. You understand? So half of Enki's mum was one of them reptilians. Remember I said there's more than 600 species of reptilians. All of them are not evil. Just like all Riskians are not good. Some Riskians are evil. Yeah? You're going to find that in every race, including humans. Some black people are good, some black people are bad. Some white people are good, some white people are bad. Some Chinese people are good, some Chinese people are bad. Some don't give a shit. So you have three natures. The good, the bad, and the neutral. We don't give a shit. What's in it for us? You understand? So you can literally do that with every species of being in creation. There's good reptilians, even the alpha draconian ones. There's bad reptilians. There's reptilians who don't give a shit. They're like, what is this? What's in it for me? Why should I get involved? You understand what I'm saying? Same with the tall whites, with the Pleiadians. So on Nibiru, you have 144,000 different species of beings. Yeah, and all of the ones we talk about, like reptilians and greys, all of them niggas is in the Nibiru too. All of them are not evil. This is what I'm trying to say to you guys. There's different natures. There's good, bad, and neutral. Yeah. Anyway, Enki, he's not a full-blooded humanoid Anunnaki. When they came here for the goal, like I said, there was Dragonians, reptilians, humanoid ones, and lizard ones living on this planet already. This was their planet. It was a water planet. They lived under the water. That's why, if you've ever asked yourself, who's telling the story in Genesis? When they say, in the beginning was this, and God came, and the Spirit of God hovered above the waters. Someone was under the water looking at the fucking craft. That's a reptilian. And so by chapter 3, they tell you. They say, well, the serpent was one of the most subtle creatures that God ever created. And he came up to Adam and Eve. Where's this serpent come from? They don't tell you where this serpent came from. They just tell you in chapter 3, this shit's not even kicked off properly yet. We got a walking, talking serpent that comes into the garden and speaks to Eve, and no one's concerned. No one's saying to Eve, hold on, a talking serpent? What are you telling me? A serpent talked to you? Eve said, yo, the serpent told me. You understand? It's not a surprise to nobody because they had reptilians walking around on the planet. That's the serpent, man. They're the ones under the water saying, yo, who are these beings that's come to our planet, hovering over the planet? These are these Anunnaki people that's come for the gold. And remember, good and evil is a perspective. So according to these reptilians on this planet, they was like, these niggas is evil. They looking for trouble. They coming to steal all our resources and shit, which is true. If you're coming from their perspective, you understand? The Anunnaki's perspective is like, yo, we need this gold. We're going to take this shit because it's our planet anyway. We built the whole shit with the founder race. So you're having all that going on now, yeah? So now a treaty was made where the Anunnaki was like, because the treaty for the Anunnaki means I mix my blood with your blood. That means we can't fight no more because you're now my family. So if we mix each other's blood, here, I'll give you one of my queens. You give me one of your queens, yeah? We mix the blood, and now these two seeds represent our peace treaty, our truce. Humans in themselves is a peace treaty for the whole fucking cosmos where we're supposed to be, and we will be. Do you understand? So Enki was like a peace treaty because Enki's mum was the princess, the draconian princess for this fucking earth. Her dad was in control of this earth. It belonged to him. So it was her inheritance. So Anu mixed his seed with her. And this is how you get Enki. And so that's why you get a rivalry within the Anunnaki, because half of them are like, yo, this nigga ain't even full blood. It's like us, if we have a mixed race among us. We're like, yo, that's a half a dude, man, half a nigga was. You know how we are with the racial shit. We get it from them. They're like, yo, this guy ain't even a full Anunnaki, and he's the firstborn son of Anu. That means he's going to inherit the throne and inherit everything. So Anu's main wife, who's his half-sister, she weren't having it. She's jealous of this other one. Yeah, so she tells Anu, yo, chuck her off Nibiru and make them live on Earth. We don't want them up here. Just because you've mixed with her, don't bring them up here. You understand? Chuck them on, chuck her and your son, this half-breed son, on Earth. So Anu obliged and put them on Earth. And this made a rivalry in Enki. He's like, yo, this is bullshit. Yeah, but first she had her son. She had her son who was a full Anunnaki, a full Riskian humanoid named Enlil. Do you understand? And let me tell you this. The Anunnaki have what's called the law of the firstborn and the law of the blood. And if you go into Zachariah Sitchin's book, the Lost Book of Enki, Enki explains the whole story for you. Because he was like, yo, I want to write my story of what really happened, so you humans in time will come to know what really happened here. So he wrote what's called the Lost Book of Enki. And in there he goes into stuff about before the Anunnaki even came to this planet, when they were back home on their planet and they were having their own wars. And there was a ruler in the north and a ruler in the south, and they didn't get on. And they had to bring it together, man, and make this kingship. And this is where you get Anu and them from. Do you understand what I'm saying? But they was hating on Enki, saying, yo, Dan, we don't really want him here. We don't trust him. He's half reptilian, rare. On the other side, the reptilians love my man. They're like, we don't want to deal with none of them humanoid Anunnakis unless it's Enki, because he's half us. So all the reptilians, they ain't got no problem dealing with Enki. So he's kind of like a go-between anyway. But Anu and them were trying to make him do a job on his family. Like, yo, I know it's your family and that, but you're Anu's son, man. This family's, you got big inheritance here. They wanted them to deal with this planet a certain type of way, and Enki weren't having it. Obviously, he's attached to this planet. Half his family is from this planet. So even when you hear about Tahuti is the son of Enki. Tahuti, the god of scribes, emerald tablets and all that, he swore to protect man. Because like I said, he's seen it, yo, this is my family. I got to protect this planet and man from the agenda of the Anunnaki. Because it's not always going to be in man's favor. More time, the Anunnaki's agenda is for their best interest. Even creating humans. They never created humans to say, oh, let's create humans. Oh, look how nice they are. Yeah, we've created. Nah, they're like, nigga, we need a slave. We need someone to mind this goal. Because our ass ain't doing it. So let's make someone. Bara, not create. Yeah, that's a falsity when they tell you the God created man. No, God made man. And these two words in Hebrew are two separate words. If I say create in Hebrew, I'm saying kalak, kalak. That's to create from scratch, from nothing. If I say bara, like Barashif, which is the real name of Genesis, that means to procreate, to make, to fashion. That means you've got ingredients, like I can make dinner. But I'm going to need some rice, some peas, some seasoning, paprika. You're going to need stuff, ingredients. That's how you make something. To create something, you're starting with nothing at all. Well, what looks like nothing, even though we know there's energies and all that stuff involved. You literally ain't got no physical thing in your hand. You're just creating. The Anunnaki didn't come here and create nothing. They came here and used what was already here and upgraded it. Say, yo, let's make this better. Okay, let's mix our genes into this thing. Because then we can upgrade the chromosomes. They only got 13 chromosomes. They can't think as much as us. So all we have to do is speed up their evolution. Because if we didn't do it, they would reach where we were anyway. But it probably take us 1 trillion years to reach where they are. If they hadn't jumped in and sped up the process and assisted by mixing in their own DNA. So the Sumerian tablets tell you Enki and his wife Ninki, they used their own chromosomes throughout this Adama project. Yeah, to breed this primitive worker, the Lulu Amelu. Yeah, so now, because Enki is from Earth, he's given the title of, okay, you're the commander of this project. You're going to be the commander on Earth and you're going to run this project for us. It went stale because at that point, Enki himself was disagreeable. His mum and them being reptilians, they're on a Hindu kind of thing. So Enki was left to choose, do I choose the culture of my father and the Anunnaki, or do I choose the culture of my mother, the Dragonians with their Hinduism? He chose his mother's side. So he was down here making women and sleeping with them. Like he was making his own wives. Earth, yo, this, I can make wives for myself. He's just making wives and shagging them and shit. And also this gold that he was supposed to be shipping, yeah, he started wearing it. At that point, humans never used to wear gold. These Anunnaki need these gold. So it's something you just ship it out. And yo, people never used to wear it. It was known as the flesh of the gods. You understand? So Enki was the first one who started this trend. Why? Because he saw the people, and yes, there was people before people were created. I'm gonna tell you how. Other Anunnaki came down here before Enki did. In the name, I'll give you the name, Alalu. Yeah, after his war with Anu and he lost, he already came to Earth and found the gold and sent word back to Nibiru, the Anunnaki. That's how they got to come here. There's like, bastard, my man reached Earth, Tiamat, and he's found the gold there, the Zub. Yo, let's go and check out to see if what he's saying is real or what. So, and remember, Alalu is related to Enki through his mum. Alalu and them have got reptilian genetics in them. You understand what I'm saying? So when Enki came down here, these people that Alalu, because he already built up his own cities and shit in the form of Pumapunku in the Americas, where they say, bastard, we don't know who made it. There's no record of when it was made. It was old in the old days. In the ancient days, they was like, bastard, this is some old shit. So imagine from where we are now. It was already old in the time of Egypt and shit. There ain't no birth records for it. That's why I keep telling people America is the old world. Alalu had his own civilization running there before Anu and them came and told him, yo, you can't have no civil. Who told you can run civilization on Earth, rude boy? And they wiped out the civilization. Pumapunku, Olete Tambu, you can say it too if you practice, yeah? Sakseo Human, Nazca, certain places in Peru, they wiped him out and they said he ain't allowed to have it. If you go to Zachariah Sitchin's book, The Lost Book of Enki, I'm just giving you basic details so I can go along with the story, but he'll open it out for you so you'll see like, bastard, okay, and then certain things start joining together, okay? So yeah, Enki and them took a different attitude towards this earth thing than the Anunnakis on Nibiru did. So now you have a rivalry. You have Enlil and his mum, remember, she was jealous. She was jealous of Enki and his mum. Yeah. So because his mum, Antum, she was jealous, the son, Enlil, he comes out jealous. That's why in the Bible, he tells you, yo, I'm a jealous God. You can't worship no other God but me. If you do, I'm going to bun up your ass. You understand? This is Yahweh, the bigot. Yahweh, the bigot, is Enlil. And his son, you hear Hebrew Israelites saying, oh, Yahweh and Yahawashi, his son, like it's Jesus. Now, you're talking about Enlil and his son, Tammuz. You understand what I'm saying? We're not talking about Jesus, man. You're talking about Tammuz. These are old tales from the ancient world. Yeah? Yeah. So he is Yahweh in the Bible when he's saying, yo, he don't want man to have eternal life. If you turn to Genesis 3:22, he's pissed. He starts talking about man behind their back. He says, look, now the man has become like one of us. He knows good. He knows the difference between good and evil. So that's the only thing that makes you like a god. Knowing the difference between good and evil, according to the Bible. And Enlil or Yahweh, he didn't like it. He says, yo, now that man knows good and evil, he'll be able to just eat from the tree of life and live forever. Sure, we're not giving him no eternal life. Chop that off from him. Yo, you ain't allowed to have this. So God's got a problem with humans having eternal life. The God of the Bible, the bigot, Yahweh. And I know this might trigger some people, but yo, the truth is the truth. All you have to do is go and research it for yourself unbiasedly. Yeah? So it made a rivalry between these two brothers, Enki and Enlil. This story filtered down. You get the Horus and Set story. You get the Cain and Abel story. Even the story of Anu and his two wives, Id and Antum. That's the same Abraham story. Abraham, yeah, Isaac and Ishmael. Sarah, the jealous wife, she's the Antum. She tells Abraham, yo, chuck this son out, man. You understand what I'm saying? Chuck that son in the desert, yeah? Ishmael, I'm jealous of him. They giving you the same stories. They just mixing them up. These are Anunnaki stories. These ain't even human stories, some of them. These are the stories of the Anunnaki that get watered down. And then they tell you, oh, John. They don't even give you a second name. John or Mark. Or, you understand what I'm saying? These are old stories, rude boy. So it made a rivalry that is still running right now in 2023 between Enki and his sons. He's got loads of sons. Negal, Murdoch, all of them. Amun-Ra is one of Enki's sons. Tahuti is one of Enki's sons. Nabu, all these different gods that are Enki's sons and daughters. The Muzi, who went with Ishtar and made Tammuz, that's Enki's son. You understand? And then you have Enlil's sons like Ninurta, Nanasin, Baal. You understand what I'm saying? Teshub. All of these are Enlil's sons, and these were having a war. And Enlil's sons were based in Iraq, Mesopotamia. And Enki's sons were based in Kemet, Egypt, the Nile Valley going down to South Africa. And this is why throughout history, you have this clash. You always have like Babylonians or Assyrians or Persians clashing with the Nile Valley, clashing with the pharaohs. These two cultures are constantly fucking clashing, even though they come from the same genetic root. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so that made a rivalry, and it jeopardized the whole project. The whole project was jeopardized because they bust off a nuclear war in 2024 BC. Which is the window. We're going into 2024 AD next year. It's a window. History repeats itself. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if we was going into nuclear war in 2024 BC, and you can see it in the Sinai with the burnt limestone for miles, the limestone's black, all the way into the Indus Valley. They have it in their texts, in the Upanishads and the Vedas. Yo, these gods, these sky gods in the Vimanas, which is the same as a sham. These Vimanas, sky vehicles, they were shooting lasers at each other and blowing up cities and melting cities and this whole shit. They're talking about the same story in another language. Do you understand? It got so bad, yeah, that the Anunnaki was like, yo, because they were fighting over control of the spaceport, which in the Bible they say Eden is a garden. No, Eden was a spaceport. Eden in Sumerian cuneiform means the land of the rocket ships, and it starts right at the Nile. Yeah, the Nile River, the Pishon and Gihon, the white and blue Nile, all the way to Iraq, where you get the Tigris and Euphrates River. So the whole area in between, which we falsely call the Middle East, there's no Middle East because there's no Middle North, there's no Middle South, there's no Middle West. It's Africa or Al-Kabilon. But when they was doing this, yo, let's separate Egypt from Africa business, they went even further. Let's separate Israel and all of that shit. Sumeria, everything from Africa. We're just going to split this chunk off and we're going to call it the Middle East. You understand what I'm saying? All of that shit's Africa. Yeah? So it jeopardized the... when the flood happened, it mashed up Sumeria. Everything was buried under layers of mud, just like that mud flood shit. No one could live there. It was waterlogged. They had to build a new landing corridor because they don't just fly into Earth and land anywhere. It's like aeroplanes. Aeroplanes have to follow a certain kind of... They have to communicate with the control tower, and then the control tower tell them where to come in and when to land and all. That's the same with the Anunnakis. You have a landing corridor. That's why everything is... when you look at these cities on the 30th parallel and stuff, and you look at Israel, I'm talking about the region, Egypt, the Sinai and Sumeria, when you look at the cities and grid them out like Zachariah Sitchin's done in his book, you can see, hold on, this is a fucking landing corridor, because they created it again. After the flood came, obviously now they need a new landing corridor. All their shit's mashed up. So they built it again. This is what the pyramids are for. They needed two mountains in the east, man-made ones, so they could act as beacons, because they used the mountains as landing beacons. They say, okay, come between them two mountains, boss a 90 degrees when you see this pond or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So they used to use the mountains as beacons. So Tahuti made the pyramids, not no Khufu, not no Menkore, not no Khafre. No, after the flood, they mended the pyramids because the pyramids outside were damaged after the flood. So Khufu and his sons and grandsons was the ones who took on the project to replenish the pyramids. And so their names got attached to the pyramids, but the pyramids go way back more than 2,500 BC. We're talking 10,500 BC when Tahuti made them shits after the flood, after the Younger Dryas period. Let me speed up anyway because I'm digressing. So yeah, this new landing corridor was made, and Enki and Enlil, the two camps, were fighting over control. Remember, Enki was originally in control of this whole Earth project. Then he lost control, but they're still fighting for control, like to take it back. So you get the new spaceport was built in Sinai, which was called Dilmun, yeah, and it means land of the rocket ships too. Some people spell it with a T instead of a D. So you can say Tilmun or Dilmun. It's the same. It's in the Sinai, they had a spaceport, which the Anunnaki ended up blowing up. Like, yo, these two are just fighting over this spaceport and jeopardizing everything. We got reptilians attacking and shit. Imagine if they get their hands on this shit here, the Tablet of Destinies and stuff, which they did for a split second. Zuen stole it off Enlil, and Murdoch had to go and rescue it, yeah? Because at that moment, he had the ultimate power over all these fucking Anunnakis just by stealing this one tablet called the Tablet of Destinies. I believe it was some technological device. Yeah, he stole it, and he knew when Anunnakis were coming to the planet, and it says he knew when they were leaving. Obviously, he's got the log for all the flights and shit, like mission control. And they even tell you the city of Nippur was called Bird City because it controlled all the flights of the Anunnaki in and out of this realm. And so Baalbek was there, was another newer launch pad that they made after the flood, where the Anunnakis could land and take off from. You see them big massive blocks that weigh like 1,200 tons and shit. Make note, most of the blocks in the pyramid is 2 tons. We're talking 1,200 ton stones, man, that's took on a high rise and made into a flat landing platform. And there's coins that they've found, ancient coins that depict this thing when it wasn't just a platform, when it had the building on it. And on this coin you see the building and you see a rocket, the tip of the rocket coming out the building. So when you're talking about the Tower of Babel and shit, oh, they was building some type of tower, like they was just building some tower to go and sit down on it. They was building a space station to reach the high heavens, Nimrod in them. Do you understand? So yeah, the spaceport was mashed up. It was destroyed with nuclear weapons, so no one could have it. It can't fall into reptilian hands or none of that shit. Because of Enki and Enlil and the stuff that they were doing that jeopardized the project. Like one thing Enki did, he told Zuen, this is when he was disagreeable, he said, you know what, I'm giving you a spell. Remember, Enki's the most brainiest out of these Anunnakis. I'm giving you a spell. I want you to go over to Enlil's cities and cast this spell on all of his people. Yeah, this is what he's telling Zuen. Cast the spell on all of these bastards, yeah, in Iraq, in Mesopotamia. Go and cast the spell on the cunt. So Tarnush now has got smart. He's cast the spell on everyone. Enlil's seed and Enki's seed. That's us, black people. He says, yo, this shit's going to last for 6,000 years. Yeah, you're going to be brain dead. You're just going to go lower and lower and lower until you forget who the fuck you are. It's called the spell of sleep, or the spell of Kingu, or the spell of Amam, or the spell of Leviathan. All these names are talking about the same spell, which is a spell of spiritual and racial blindness. And that's why the world has been operating how it has for the last 6,000 years, because we're under a spell. Have you ever tried to talk to someone about some real deep shit and they're just like this? Okay. Yeah, oh, okay. Like some fluoride shit in your family, friends, everything. You might think, bastard, this is some serious shit. It's really important to you. And you tell it to someone and they give you that. Oh, yeah, okay. We're under a spell, yeah? Especially when we're dealing with the topic of God and religion and stuff. Most people are under a psychosis. So they can't hear what you're saying. They just can't program into what you're saying. Their paradigms is a program for them, and it's like a virus. Most people never escape it. You understand? So this spell ended in 2004. It started in 4004 BC and ended in 2004 BC. And because us as a people, humans, especially black people, weren't even ready to receive the truth about this realm, we gifted them another 30 years. Yeah? Every time you ain't ready, they get more time. So now they got to 2030. Because before, 2000 was supposed to be it. That's it. But none of us were ready. We was too infatuated with Hollywood and all these stupid trivialities and racism and politics. All of that stuff. Greed, sex, lust. We weren't ready to step into godhood. So now these demons, they got another 30 years. Yeah? And that's why now they're telling you, okay, Agenda 2030. Boy, we need to get another extension by 2030. We got to keep these niggas dumb and keep them watching Hollywood and keep them watching Jamie Foxx. Oh, he's a clone. All of this stupid little trivial shit to keep them away from stepping into their godhood. So when 2030 comes, the Anunnaki's like, they're still not even ready. And they hoping a time will come where the Anunnaki's like, yo, let's just leave Earth, man. They finished, bro. Just get him, and let's dip and go to this next world, because we got people to collect over here. Humans seem to think we're the only people that, if you want to use the word God, God's got a concern for. How many more beings are in this cosmos? Why should God be concerned with this crop of humans here? We don't even want to know anything. Do you understand? We want to stay in this shit here, and we want someone to come and save us from us. We're the problem, not no fucking aliens. They've been here since the start. We are the problem, humans. But we saying, yo, we want Jesus or Allah or the Mahdi or this Messiah or Horus or whoever else to come and save you. They can't save you from you. You got to save you. That church gave you lies talking about some geezer died for your sins, and now humans are doing more sinning than ever since this nigga died. Do you understand? What's the point of him dying for your sins? No one can die for your sins. Humans have to take responsibility for their own self. These gods are not even supposed to interfere in this world here. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's up to you. You've been left with all the guidance and instructions so you can make this a fucking living paradise. And look what we've done. And we still here sitting down, oh, Jesus. Get all these twats coming in the comments. Oh, Jesus. Jesus is come. Fuck Jesus. Jesus ain't good. Jesus is the bright morning star. Who else calls itself that? The devil. Satan. You understand? I'll find the verses and tag them on here. Where's, yo, Jesus is the bright morning star. Yo, Satan is it's the same dude. God and the devil is the same dude in the Bible. Most of y'all will never get your head around that. You won't be able to process that. Oh, no, how can God be the devil? It's the same fucker. What do you think God's saying in Genesis 3? I am going to put enmity between you and the woman's seed. How come the devil ain't putting the enmity between nobody? Show me somebody in the Bible who the devil killed. Because God's doing all the killing. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just a character. It's like good cop, bad cop. And you know what? Today I'm going to play good. So, okay, my name's God today and I'm going to bless you with this. You know what? I'm pissed off now. So, yo, I'm going to kill all the fucking children in Egypt. Yeah? Whether they good or bad, whether their mum's good, every firstborn is dead. God ain't got no problem with wiping people out or telling you to go and kill an animal for him because he likes the smell of burning flesh. That's a reptilian. But most of us can't see. We're too deep in the psychosis. Let me continue. So we're dealing with a brotherly rivalry between Enlil and Enki, the two commanders of this earth project. Enlil became God on earth because remember, Anu's not on earth. He ruling in the high heavens. So down here, the big boy is Enlil because he's inherited the project now. And he don't have a nice agenda for humans. Read your Bible. Do you think God's nice? You really think God's all loving? Why is he killing babies and shit if he's all loving? He's clearly not all loving. He's contradictory. He's a bigot. He's telling you to kill animals, yeah, for him, and then telling you thou shalt not kill. So that's like a double standard. You understand what I'm saying? He's playing games. He says he's putting enmity between the man and the woman seed. He's the one who come up with all these games in the world. Political games, Olympic games. It's games, so we start fighting each other. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and I told you, Enlil, even though he wasn't the firstborn, his mum is Anu's sister. Yeah, Anu's half sister. So based on that, the law of the blood overrides the law of the firstborn. When they were having their wars, they had complications on the inheritance. You know when they're looking for a next king, well, 3 guys might be fighting, saying, yeah, well, I'm the firstborn, well, I'm this, well, I come from this. So the way they got around that, it was to create this law of the firstborn. If you have 50 sons, the son that comes from your half sister, that's the one that's going to inherit the throne. That trickled down to humanity. So we might turn our nose up at it when we hear, yo, brothers and sisters sleeping together and shit. But we got to remember, this is before man's gene pool was polluted. So we wasn't having these recessive genes inside of us and shit. You understand? Before we had these recessive genes, as long as it wasn't your sister from your mum, because that carries the mitochondria DNA, you can marry a sister from the father's side, from who you and her got the same father, but you and her ain't got the same mother. But it came to a point where the genes of man was so corrupt after these Nephilims came down in Genesis 6 and mixed in with man, that all that shit had to be outlawed. That got stopped because now you're having inbreds. We got all these recessive genes and shit. Before we never had that. So you get Christians, all of their prophets, they were marrying their half sisters. Hebrews, all of their prophets, they were marrying their half sisters. Muslims, their prophets, they were marrying half sisters. Your Abraham, his wife Sarah was his half sister. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is going on in humanity too. Yeah, and even outside of the Bible and monotheism, you go to India, they get down like that. You go to Africa, they get down like that. All the ancient cultures, they get down like that. Up to a certain point when that shit became cut off. Do you understand? So Enki and Enlil even tried to fight over the inheritance, like who's going to be the next geezer. So they thought, okay, Enlil can say this, okay, I'm gonna inherit the throne, but then after I'm gone, Enki might get back on the throne, one of his sons or whatever, because Enki and them were trying to breed that child that would be the next one after Enlil. Both of them were doing it with their sons. So both of them have a sister who's Anu's daughter, but she has a different mother from both of them. So both of them were trying to sleep with her and bring a son through her, because then that son would have been the business. You see what I'm saying? Enlil was the one who was successful. Enki tried it first, yeah, and she was down with Enki. Obviously, she's working on the project with him, Ninti or 𝓆𝓄𝓃𝓃𝓃𝓏𝓃, yeah. But Enki tried to rape her. This is how peak this shit is. They got all the emotions we've got. He tried to rape her, and then she ended up having a son with Enlil. That son is called 𝓆𝓄𝓃𝓃𝓃, who's known as the Destroyer. My man's, he's peak. You understand? When it comes to war and shit, they're sending my man in his black bird. You read the Sumerian tablets, it tells you he used to fly around in a helicopter. He used to fly in his his black bird, sky chariot and shit. They describe it for you. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, let's go on. So, as I said to you, this same Enki and Enlil story filtered down into your Bible, Torah and Quran as Cain and Abel. That's the same fucking story they're giving you right there. Do you understand what I'm saying? And also, Enki took a wife from these same humanoid reptilians that was on Earth. So she's not an Anunnaki Riskian like Anu and them. She's from Earth, a humanoid humanoid reptilian, benevolent. Her name was Lady Earth. If you have an Enki, Lord, Lord, Ki, as in key, which the Greeks changed to G, like geography. Do you understand? So you can say Anunnaqi, Ki, same. Yeah? So Damkina or Ninki, she became the Lady Earth. Yeah? And Enki is Lord Earth, Enki. And now you have Ninki. If you have Enlil, you have Ninlil. You understand? Lord of the command, Lady of the command. Lord of Earth, Lady of the Earth. So Enki's Lady Earth was really from Earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? He had his seeds through her. And who came through Ninki, the seed that came through Ninki? Murdoch, Tahuti. So his mum was from Earth. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Tahuti, that son, he became the son that was born with a double mantle. For whatever reason, I think it was Anu. Because of all this trouble between his two sons, Enki and Enlil, jeopardizing the thing, they was trying to merge the bloods so they could have one person who represents both sides. It ended up being Murdoch, who usurped Enlil. So Enlil lost his birthright. He ain't going to inherit the throne no more because of all the evil shit that he did on the way, yeah? And so Murdoch became even more powerful and knowledgeable than his father. We call him Murdoch. In Babylon history, they write it as Marduk. Yeah, Marduk, yeah. And this Marduk is the same as Amun-Ra. It's the same being. Remember, Ra and Amun-Ra is not the same being. Ra is Anu. Amun-Ra is Anu's grandson, which is the son of Enki, which is, in Babylon, they call him Murdoch. In Egypt, they call him Amun-Ra, or the Hidden One. And if you get the book, The 12th Planet and the Earth Chronicles of Zachariah Sitchin, he will explain that for you. I ain't got the time to do it. I'm already dragging this live, yeah? Anyway, somebody asked me about, could I explain? Because they said, I thought you said the Anunnaki were black. And then you said they come down here and they're going to have a feast and eat black people. And what I was saying, yeah, if I didn't make myself clear, remember I said there's loads of different Anunnakis. The ones that are leading the fleets are the black people, the Riskians. Risk is from the word Razaka, which is one of the names of Allah in the Quran. And it translates as the providers. So the Riskians are the ones that provide life. They create worlds. They make worlds and shit. Everything don't just come from nature. These niggas have got technology where they could release a bomb and make a sun. And just trap all that hydrogen and helium explosion in a kind of prison. And now we call it a sun. We don't even know that was made by some of them Anunnaki. Jupiter was is a planet that was made, a gas giant. Saturn is a planet that was made. Uranus is a planet that was made. Neptune is a planet that was made. Anu and them made these planets. They have companies that build planets for different species. Remember what I told you? War was going on. So as the Most High, ask a religious person, what is the purpose of the Most High? What is he the Most High of? What's God's job? Have you ever asked yourself that? What's the purpose of God? Everything has a purpose in it. You hear people say that, yo, everything's got a reason, everything's got a purpose in creation. Okay, what's God's purpose? Ask your pastor, ask your imam, ask your rabbi. He's got to have a purpose. If everything's got a purpose, what's God's purpose? I'll tell you what God's purpose is. God's purpose is to keep the balance and the order. When we talk about nothingness, this consciousness, yeah, manifests itself in the most powerful being, yeah. So that, like Thanos in Avengers, Thanos is the powerfulest mutant in the universe. He's got all the stones and he click his fingers and shit like that. Think of that type of scenario. One Anunnaki who's wielding all the power. If it comes to knowledge, he's the most knowledgeable. If it comes to a fight, nigga, I'm the strongest. If it comes to kindness, I'm the kindest. If it comes to science, I'm the most best scientist. If it comes to mathematics, I'm the best mathematician. Yeah. So every 9 cycles, and I'll explain what 9 cycles are to you because it's not our time. Every 9 cycles, they have a competition in the cosmos, and every species of being sends their representative, and they have a competition like a strongman contest. Okay, who's the best scientist? Okay, who's the best this? Who's the best that? At the end, you're left with the Most High, and he gets 9 tools of empowerment. You understand that? You see Anu carrying. Now, 9 cycles means this. If you ever heard about a cosmic year or an arm to do with the Mayan calendar and how the sun goes through every zodiac sign, yeah, and it takes 25,920 years. So if you split that into 12, it's 2,160 years that the sun spends in Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. You understand what I'm saying? It spends 2,160 years in each sign, meaning when it rises, it's rising in that zodiacal house for the next 2,160 years. That's called an age. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you get full circle, that's called a cosmic year. Our year is 365 and a quarter days. Their year, a cosmic year, is 25,920 years. That's called an arm, AAM, or a cosmic year. When you have 9 cosmic years, they have this competition. Okay, let's see who's the Most High. So the Most High, his term in office is going to last for 9 cosmic years. Do you understand what I'm saying? And the last 9 times they've had this contest, Anu has won it. Yeah, he's always won. And it's always been the black gods that win. Like I tell you, they're the founder race. Ain't nobody going to beat them at shit. You understand what I'm saying? So the first war started with insectoids 66 billion years ago in the Pegasus constellation. At that time, it was another Anu ruling the throne, who's the father of this Anu. His name was Anshar. And Anshar one day decided, I want new life in this universe, man. Back then, it wasn't too much species. They was creating species. He's like, yo, telling his chief scientist, we need to make some new life, have a celebration and that. So all his chief scientists got to work. And the best thing they came up with was what we call today a dragonfly. Obviously, it's not the little thing down here on Earth. This thing's probably the size of a car or some shit like that. But they created the dragonfly. Oh, wicked. We created new life, a dragonfly, rare. They didn't get that this dragonfly, out of it, they created 600,000 different type of insects that came out of the dragonfly. And then you have another 400,000 that evoluted on themselves. And a lot of them became poisonous, like your scorpion, like it's got a sting or it's got venom or something. So then this shit went south, because now all these venomous insects started taking over. And you know how insects are, they breed so fast. They started taking over the whole galaxy. So the Anunnaki was like, yo, this is a problem, you know, this has got out of control. Next thing, there's a war between these insects and these humanoid Anunnakis. It got so peak, the Anunnaki left Pegasus. They was like, bastard, we're going to have to evacuate. So they ran off, nigga. They left and came to this neck of the woods. Yeah. And when they came here, they was like, yo, we need a solution, man. Because these insects were following, going from galaxy to galaxy and just swarming, taking over the whole shit. And like I told you guys, they show you this in the Alien movies. Those are insectoids. And they keep showing you Alien 1, Alien 2, Alien 3, Prometheus, Predators. All of these shits are real beings. Them Predators, they work for Anu. They're the ant people from Andromeda. So Anu, when they get called in its peak, it's like, yo, we got some fucking insects and shit, yeah? You niggas gonna have to go in there and clean these niggas up. So they show you this in the Predator movie. They come here to hunt. They come here to kill shit. They fighting these aliens and shit. They giving you your fucking story. More time we don't know, because we stuck in some Greco-Roman interpretation of the Bible. or some red Arab interpretation of Islam. We ain't none the wiser. More time we holding on to these dogmas, not knowing there's so much more to this story than they telling us in these established religions and shit, Dan. All of them. They're all guilty. Do you understand? So anyway, these reptilian, these insectoids, the chief scientist for Anshaw, her name was Mother Hubad. It was his sister. Most time the Anunnakis, the main scientist is a female. It's not a male, like here on Earth, most scientists are man. No, with the Anunnaki, most scientists are the women. So down here on the Earth Project, you had Ninti, who they said, yo, she was even more brainier than Enki when it came to this. Cloning the humans into existence. Enki had to turn to his sister like, bastard, how do we do this? Because she's the physician, that's her specialty. It's the same with now when we go to the Mother Hubad story. She's the sister of the Most High, and she's the most highest scientist. So she's the one who came up with the dragonfly. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after all this happened now and they had to leave Pegasus, yeah, she's kind of looking at the Most High, her brother, like, bastard, you ain't even fit for the job. How did you get to be the Most High? You can't even deal with these insects. So she lost faith in him, yeah. So she started working against him because he was like, yo, we need to build some, we need to create, make some other species that can fight these insects. What are we going to make? They made the bird beings, and they made the bird beings from out of the insect beings. And she also made reptilian beings from the little frogmen, the Maldekians, yeah? And then once she had made these Maldekians, she then crossed them with the birds to get Alpha Draconians. And then she chucked her Anunnaki Riskian DNA into the equation. And that's how you get Vulcans, like the Devil and Zuen and all of them, yeah? And she used them reptilians as her own attack force. She made them matriarchal, where the men don't even rule in the reptilian communities. It's the women that rule. The males, they just in the ships going from planet to planet. Okay, we'll have that one. Take that shit over. Okay, we've took it over. Call in the bitches. Then the women come and they run the planet and tell the geezers, yo, go and find another fucking planet. The women run shit in that society because they're wired off Mother Hubbard. Mother Hubbard is their queen. Whether you're talking about Zuen, the Satan, all of them are worshipping Mother Hubbard. That's the Galactic Republic. That's 1/3 of the Anunnakis that split off. So fuck that, we're going with Tarnush and the Devil and Mother Hubbard and shit. So 1/3 of this Galactic Council broke off and became the Galactic Republic. They show you this in Star Trek. You have a Galactic Republic and a Galactic Federation fighting each other. They showing you your story. They even got the Vulcans in there like Dr. Spock with his pointy ears, even though they don't paint his ass black. They basically showing you the Vulcans. Some of them are black. We think it's just some sci-fi shit. It's not. This is the Anunnaki story. Even Superman, that's the Anunnaki story. All of this shit is coming from Anunnaki. It's not just someone geezer just woke up one day and had this bright idea. Yo, let me write about fucking Spider-Man. You see what I'm saying? Guys, am I making sense? I know I rant a lot, yeah, but I wanted to give you this part 3. I'll get to some of these questions after, yeah. Yeah, so she made these reptilians and these bird beings to fight the insects. If you want to see how things work in the cosmos between these aliens, all you have to do is study Mother Nature. Look down here at the animals, say, fucking hell, these birds eat insects. Okay, these bird beings, they fight the insect beings. Yo, some of these birds eat lizards and shit. Okay, so these bird beings, some of them fight reptilians and lizards, and you can literally do that. You understand? And see as above, so below. We have all of that shit. Even like, you see the AA when you break down in your car and you call up someone, roadside assistance, bastard, and broke down on the motorway, you know. Someone come with a tow truck and tow your ass to the repair shop. It's the same out there. You in a ship, spaceship, yo, bastard, I don't even know what neck of the woods I'm in. My shit's just stopped. Yo, can I call the Anunnaki hotline? Yo, y'all need to come and tow my ass out of here. They got that shit there. They tow planets, not just ships. They will build you a planet, Anu in them. Because remember, like I said before I forget, the role of the Most High is to take care of everything. So after the war, the Most High, it's his responsibility, because a lot of species became diaspora species. Their planet's destroyed. Their sun is destroyed. They need to go and look for another home now. So now Anu is the one who comes up with, new, like I said, he's got a company where they build worlds, they build suns, they build galaxies, they build planets, and then they tow that planet to where they want it and anchor it there. Yo, you got a new planet here. Here's how much it costs. Pay me the money. See it there. Move in. I'm the landlord. So these Anunnaki Riskians, they are like landlords. Do you see what I'm saying? They build worlds for other people. So when Anu was in the last competition, the last stage was, okay, both of you build a planet and see which one builds the planet better. It was Anu versus Alalu, and Anu won. Yeah. So Anu built Uranus. That's why it's got Anu in the name. Anu, us, Uranus. You understand? And Alalu built Neptune. Neptune was is a water planet. Most of it is water. And Neptune, Neb or Nep, means the Lord. Yeah, when you're dealing with Meduneta. And tune, so you're dealing with the Lord's tune. Neptune has all of the crystals in this galaxy. You can find them on Neptune. You can't find all of them here on Earth, but you can find all of them on Neptune, and it's a water planet, and it's got nomos. That means aquatic reptilians who live in the waters, underneath the waters. Do you understand? Beautiful planet, Neptune. So Anu built a similar planet. It's literally identical, yeah, but it's not a water planet, and it's lying on its side. And when it's lying on its side, around it from top to bottom is a you know, like Saturn's got the rings. Yeah, Uranus has also got rings, but they're vibrating so high you can't see them with the naked eye. You need certain type of cameras, and you'll see, fucking no, this thing's got rings like Saturn, but it's not rings like Saturn. It's actually a stargate. So any beings that are coming from the 9th density to come into this 3D, you have to come through the gates. Yeah. So there's certain beings that guard these gates. They're gatekeepers, like when you're watching Marvel and shit, and they're showing you Thor, and Idris Elba is that gatekeeper kind of geezer. All this shit's based on real shit. So the avians, they live on Uranus, and that, like I said in the last live, they vibrate up to the 8th density. Yeah, the Riskians vibrate up to the 9th density. The bird beings vibrate up to the 8th density. The reptilians vibrate up to the 6th density. You got certain reptilians that can vibrate up to 6. Most of them are locked down here. But you do have certain species who vibrate up to the 6. Do you understand what I'm saying? So Anu won because of how beautiful Uranus was, lying down on its side with the Stargate around it, and he became the Most High once again. Okay? So they build planets, and why I said this to you is because when all of this war shit happened, and you got all these diaspora species that live on the Nibiru until they can find a new world, or Anu can make a new world for them. Certain different species live there. When they pass Earth, some of them might say, yo, we're going to stay on Earth till you've done that planet for us, you know. Yo, give me a shout when the planet's done. Yeah? So you get all type of beings that jump off on different planets. Yo, I like this world. Let's chill here until my man's done with our planet and that. Like the mermaids, you understand? The nomos that's here on Earth. So most of them have gone back to Sirius, because Sirius A exploded. So you get what we call Bigfoot, Shaggies. They came here. Hindus came here. Greys came here. Various different type of beings, nomos and shit came here. Because when the Nibiru came to Earth, they was like, we like this place. We're going to stay here until you fix this a planet. Their planet's fixed now. Sirius has got a new sun now. It's all fixed. So most of them nomos went home. But they do have some that's like, yo, this is my home now. You know, like some of us, we might go somewhere temporarily and fall in love with the place so much you don't even want to go home no more. You like, this is my new fucking home. So you got various species that chose to stay here. You understand? And that's what Nibiru is. So Anu now, he built a whole new heaven. This whole new heaven is what we call Orion. That's new. It's not even like old. Earth and shit is older than that shit. He built a new heaven, and this Earth was a model, because this is one of the oldest worlds, you know, this Earth. That's why it's so important. They used this as the model and started building super Earths, like 10 times the size of this Earth, with less of the problems and stuff. When you go to Orion, you'll find that most of these planets in Orion are vegan or vegetarian. They don't even eat meat. Do you understand? Of course, you get people in Orion, beings in Orion that are evil. I'm talking about where the gods are dealing with their thing. That shit's vegan. And the plants, they breathe in hydrogen and they let out helium. And some of these Anunnakis breathe in ether and let out hydrogen. Some of them breathe in hydrogen and let out helium. You breathe in oxygen and you let out carbon dioxide. There's different beings with different setups around this cosmos. So when they came to this Earth, they had to change shit. They had to make the trees be supportive of us, because first the trees was taking in hydrogen and letting out helium. That don't work for us humans. Yo, we're gonna have to change this to oxygen because they breathe oxygen. So a lot of things were terraformed. If you ever hear that word, terraforming is when you change the climate and the atmosphere of the planet to make it conducive to a certain different being. Remember we said in the last live when the Anunnaki and them came here, they were having problems with this sun. They were aging too quick because they wasn't acclimatized to this world. So this is what sparked them saying, yo, let's make a being that can do the work for us so we don't have to do the work. I'm going to cut this shit in half because my battery's flashed up. I didn't charge my phone fully. And so I probably won't do it tonight. What is it? It's like 22. I might do. I'll let you know. But I'm literally halfway. I'll come back to it and we'll do a part 4 because I want to make sure that you guys you get the information that you need and you can go and research it and you can follow it up so that you will be able to speak it yourself and you will be able to have discussions with people yourself. I'm not trying to be here like no Jesus or no Buddha geezer. I'm just sharing my notes with you guys. Okay. So let me read a few of these questions before I go. Yeah, it's still on 20. I'll have enough time to do that. And then I'm ghost, yeah? And let's say tomorrow, because if I do it tomorrow, yeah, Morsha, I'm going to check the question now, yeah? If I do it tomorrow, I'll be able to concentrate better because I'm already thinking about lighting up this spliff. And if you notice, I ain't even... I was just smoking on. Why is this stupid hat keep coming on in the thing and that? Who's doing that? Is someone doing that shit? Right, let me get to these, man. Bastard. Yo, shout out to everyone who came and joined this live, man. I ain't never seen so much questions on a live since I was on the Black History UK on Instagram, man. Shout out to you guys, man. You don't have to be here, and I appreciate your time, yeah, and your participation. Encourage your viewers to share your live and invite more friends. Guys, share the live and invite more friends. This is what TikTok's saying, yeah. TikTok's got me on one of these friendly moments because I'm bringing them traffic. Can we leave Earth? No. Nobody ain't never left Earth. All of that shit's a lie. Earth is a closed system. You got the Van Allen's belt. That is a radiation belt that no living thing can go through there unless you know where the stargates are, certain teleports and portals and shit like some of these aliens do. Yeah, so they know how to negate that shit. We don't. We are quarantined. I've said it in my book, Coronation, Agenda 21. I said the planet's been in quarantine for 6,000 years. This lockdown didn't put us in no quarantine. Nigga, we've been in quarantine for 6,000 years. That's why if you ask humans, yo, we're the only ones that exist. Humans they didn't even believe in aliens till about 10 years ago. You understand? Aliens was like, yo, come on, aliens don't exist. Where are they? It was deliberately made like that. Yo, put them, move that Earth to this part of the universe and leave it there. So they feel like there's no one there. Quarantine them, they're dangerous. That's how they feel about us. Yo, that creature that we created, them humans, they're fucking dangerous. And they're not wrong. Because look what we've done to each other on the planet. Look at racism and greed and all that. Look at the stuff we do to each other. Look at the stuff we do to the children. Look how we treat women. Like they're some kind of second-class human and shit. So they was like, whoa, quarantine them motherfuckers there until they prove they're worthy. They're not allowed to leave that place. They stay on that world there. You're not allowed. So all that stuff about going NASA flying out, I'm not saying they never went to the moon. They never went when they told us with no 1969 Neil Armstrong going on the moon and all that shit. If they went there with reptilians and shit through stargates. They never flew no rocket up through no sky, up through no dome. No, that's a lie. And Tyson DeGrasse, who's supposed to be the leading scientist in the world, he says the same thing. He says, yo, we ain't never left. Yeah? The space station ain't even in space. It's in lower Earth orbit. So it's just up in the air. If you drive from New York to Florida, that's the distance that the space station is up in the air. You can drive from New York to Florida in about 2-3 hours, right? So it's in about 2-3 hours you reach the space station. It's inside the firmament. It's inside the dome. Psalms, chapter 19, verse 1, it tells you this shit's closed. It's a firmament. Werner von Braun had that shit put on his tombstone. A NASA rocket engineer. He's a bastard. Well, we never got through the dome. I want that shit on my tombstone. That shit's for real. No, we can't leave this place. Not like that. We're not allowed. More like, okay. Species, not oh, allow that. Wow, bro, I have been in this rabbit hole for, what the hell? 4 years, and the more time goes, the more true it is. Yeah, Like, it's going to come to the point where it's undeniable. I would say we're already there now. Like, most wise people will look at what's going on in the world and say, bastard, these conspiracy theories were true, man. This was conspiracy reality. Science fiction is now science fact. You understand? So shout out to, who was it? Andrew Snedden. Yes, this is correct. Natty Natural. Where you get this information from, I'm gifted with it. I was born with this information, not all of it. I was born with the potential, let's say, for this information, so I could play the role that I'm playing now. It's a gift, yeah. You can pin a comment now. Oh, I keep reading the bloody TikTok. The Holy Tablets by Dr. Malachi. Yeah, I've got it right on my windowsill. You want to see it? See it, yeah? Books is my thing, man. Holy Tablets. This is £1,500 UK money. Yeah? This is one of the... you need this book. This is the book you must have. These are the images that I say I've now put through AI. So when you see this next book, you're going to be like, I have to have that book. There's no way I'm not having that book. So yeah, shout out to Dr. York. Somebody asked me what are TZT books today. I said they're the greatest books, yeah, in the realm post Dr. York. Yeah, so shout out to Natty Natural. I want this book. Yo, hit me up on Instagram, TZT Book Mafia, man. Let's get it. He's the closest to the truth, but the books are like, go, yeah. Like I said, that Holy Tablets, this is £1,500 UK money. So this is going to cost you about 2,200 US dollars. 2,200 US dollars. £1,500 sterling. You understand? And I got mine free. Like I said, I got a gift. Yeah? So I got gifted this from the Most High when I was 15. I'm 42 now. So this is literally a part of me. More time you might think, bastard, how did he know all of this stuff? This is like 27 years of me absorbing this stuff. There's no shortcuts. It's not social media. I don't get my shit from YouTube. I'm before YouTube. I've been speaking this stuff here since 2002. We're in 2023. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. You can also access this meditation by you can access your knowledge through meditation. Each of us have avenues where we can access knowledge. I know what you're saying, yeah? So you're not wrong. But the Greeks call that meditation, getting knowledge from meditation, the nous, N-O-U-S. And that's the same as saying in Medunetta, the nun. Or if you're a Muslim and you crack your Quran open, a lot of the chapters or surahs, they start with these little abbreviations like alif, lam, mim, nun. You ever ask yourself, yo, this nun is the same as like the Egyptian nun? And then Muslims tell you, oh, no one knows what these things mean. They just at the start of every chapter, but they mean they don't know what that shit means. We know what it means. So the nun is the same as saying the nous, like what you said. You can, just from contemplation and meditation, a lot of the philosophers arrived at the answers, the secrets of creation, just by pondering this shit. Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, you're not wrong, Natty Natural. Andrew Snedden, I believe we are spiritual beings and we could have been so much more advanced if we were taught. Don't believe it, know it. Belief is a false attribute. You can believe something and be totally wrong. Believe, you saying you believe means you don't know. Because if you knew, you wouldn't have to believe. You can't know something and believe it at the same time. That's why religious people don't know nothing. Because they just believe in whatever the pastor or the rabbi or whoever else told them. You got to know that shit within yourself, that we are spiritual beings and that we're much more, not we could have been, that's past tense, change that wording, that we are much more than what we have been told we are. And now we need to remember who we really are as the astral being, the real being, the part of us that is before birth and after death, which is an eternal consciousness, because energy can't be created and it can't be destroyed. It just is. There's no new energy in the universe. Everything is just recycled. There's no new souls, no new life, nothing. Everything is just recycled. And this is science. Yeah, you can go into science and confirm this. Yeah, in the second law of thermodynamics and all of them shits there, they show you the same thing. So yeah, we're much more than what they told us. Like I was saying, I'll tell you in the part 2, we are the walking peace treaty for the whole of these reptilians, Riskians, Arcturians, Greys. They created us to have a peace treaty among them. You understand? And eventually that's what's going to happen, because what they never told us in relation to what you're saying, we're powerfuler than they are. Nigga, we got all 23 chromosomes in us. We can access all the traits of all of them bastards. We can do the multi-dimensional stuff, time travel, all of it. We've got, and that's why there's so much of an effort to keep you away from knowing that, because you could override the whole shit. Nigga, God's scared of you. How about that? I'm talking about the gods in the Bible. I'm not talking about Anu, the good gods. I'm talking about these false gods that gave us these false religions. Nigga, they scared of you. That's why they said, yo, he can't have the tree of life. Fucking, yo, kick him out of the garden. Bastard, yo, bury this, change this, lie this, change, scrub out this. They scared of you. Only a person who's scared of you would do that. So we are much more than what we've been told we are. But speak in the present and speak it into existence rather than, because remember what I said, English is a spell. And a lot of the time we speak in kind of like to curse ourselves, to keep ourselves locked in the spell. Words are so much more important than you might think. The real reason we are here, is to grow, is to have experience and grow and add that to the database. Every human is just an expression of the divine mind that wants to experience itself as a tree, as a human, as an ant, as this world, as hot, as cold, as fast, as slow, as up, as down, as big, as small, rich, poor. It wants to have all these experiences, because although God knows everything, this divine mind, God hadn't experienced everything. So the key to this simulation is experience, and the only sin was infringing on somebody else's experience. We're not allowed to infringe on somebody else's experience. This is before they trapped us in all these religions and shit. But this was the purpose of this simulation, and it was supposed to be like a paradise. It weren't supposed to be like prison. Let me keep going. I'm on 14% now. The Third Eye by Sophia Stewart. I love Sophia Stewart. She's the real writer of The Matrix. So that's a good shout at Natty Natural again. Story of this, what Meminon is speaking right here. Yeah, I love Sophia Stewart. Yeah, she was on the Killer Priest podcast quite recently, more than one time. But I've known about Sophia Stewart and her books, because I told you I'm a book guy, bookworm, yeah. I've known about her for about 15, 20 years, man. Study all her work. She's real. And not just The Matrix, but also The Terminator, because her book, The Third Eye, it's got both of them stories in one. John Connor is Neo. The Terminator is in the past and Neo is in the future. So it's the same story, but in Hollywood, when they stole her script, they bust it down the middle and made 2 movies. Yo, Terminator. And later on, they made The Matrix. You understand what I'm saying? But when you read her books, it's all one story. Garden of Eden is on earth, and I believe, this word believe, yeah, I don't deal with beliefs. Yeah, the real story of the birth of life involves the Anunnaqi. Well, we've already spoke about that, so you might want to rewind the thing. This is Andrew Snedden. I told you the word Eden in cuneiform, it's a cuneiform word. Cuneiform is older than Hebrew, it's older than Arabic, it's older than all the Semitic languages. So if you want to know the real meaning of the word Eden, go back to the first people that used that word in its original form, and you'll find that it means the land of the rocket ships. You okay? So yes, it's on earth. Like I said, it starts at the west of the Nile, the west of Egypt, going to Iraq. That whole region is known as Eden. E.D.I.N. In the Bible, they spell it E-D-E-N. But it's really from Eden. E.D.I.N. And it means the land of the rocket ships, where the Anunnaki used to come and go, or what they call the window of heaven. Yes. And inside of that Eden was a place called Gan. G-A-N, and that means the enclosed garden, where they put these 2 Homo sapiens, yeah, or your Adam and your Eve, and that's where they get this Garden of Eden story from. They swiped the word Eden and swiped the Gan and said, okay, Garden of Eden, this sounds wicked. Yo, the Garden of Eden, guys. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Want to know the Devil's Story by Sophia Stewart, The Third Eye? Yep, go and buy it. It's in there too, exactly. Okay, hold on. Before that was a war, also they changed the density with portals of dimensional DNA that is to make. I don't really get what you're saying there. If you could rephrase that in another kind of way. No disrespect. Respect for posting anyway. I remember reading about this, Natty. Yes, Natty Natural. Black land, Egypt, land of Chem. Black architecture, we are the first stone mason builders. Yes, as in Kushites. Because remember, Egypt is not the first. Kush or Tarseti is the first, according to Egyptians, ancient Egyptians. And Tarseti is Sudan, not Egypt. It's today's Sudan, where you find Napata and you find Merowe. That was the heart of Kemet. Egypt is a white man thing. Egypt is talking about Alexander the Greek. When Alexander the Greek came in, they changed Kemet into Egypt, because Kemet was still running as Kemet, even though the Babylonians had took over. It was still Kemet, Black Kemet. Do you understand? When Alexander the Greek and them came in 332 BC, and the Ptolemies, they changed it using the Arabic word Al-Qubt, meaning the axis. Al-Qubt became Aegyptos, or Egypt, the land of the burnt faces. But Kemet meant the land of the blacks, or the community of the blacks. Not the black land, like these Arabs like to say, oh, they was talking about the colour of the land because Egypt means the black land. No, it means the land of the blacks, the land of the black people. And it was also called Magan, which also means the land of the black men. Just like Maluha was Sudan, the land of the black men. Both of them are called the land of the black men. That's why when you say Kush, that means black. If you say Kemet, that means black. It's the same people. It's just different. It's like Bloods and Crips. You understand what I'm saying? Feel like I'm back in class. Yo, I tell people this is what I do. I bring classes to people so you can benefit. I'm not here but just to talk and listen to myself. We understand this takes a lot, man. Your mouth goes dry. Humans are hard work and everything. Y'all have been some of the best listeners. I'm not just gassing you out, yeah? Right, 10%. Come, let's go. Yahweh was thought knowledge in Egypt, bro. God, listen, you need to word that different, man. I'm skipping. If you can't articulate your sentence, don't expect me to answer it, yeah? If you can't spend time articulating what you're trying to say, I'm an articulate guy, yeah? I'm not going to waste time. And I mean no disrespect. I say that with all humility, yeah? He was missing from the age of 12, then appeared back at the age of 33. But Jesus was in Egypt for knowledge. Okay, I hear what you... When you say it like that, I get what you're saying now. Yes, he went to Kemet. Remember, God told Herod to run to Kemet and hide. God told Joseph and Mary, or the angel, said, yo, run and hide. Herod's trying to kill trying to kill Jesus. You should ask yourself, how come is God a wimp? Why is the angel telling man to run? Why didn't God tell the angel, yo, tell my man, leave my son alone, or I'm going to come down there and deal with man? Why didn't God say that? Why does he have to run to Kemet? And why Kemet? Why not run to Rome? We're supposed to be pagans, animal worshippers, sun worshippers. Why is all God's prophets coming to Egypt to hide? And if they're coming to Egypt to hide among black people, then they must look like black people and be black too. Because if you're a white man, a white Jesus, how you going to run into Egypt and hide in Egypt until you're 33? Mom, I'm on a live. Give me 2 minutes, yeah? How you gonna run and hide in Egypt as a white boy, a hippie, and you living among black people in the sun? Yeah? So there's a lot in that when they tell you that stuff. Because remember, Isaac the same, Abraham the same. Most of the prophets went to Egypt. Moses grew up there, learning all the wisdom of the Egyptians. He waxed strong in the knowledge of the Egyptians. Jesus, or let's say Joshua, Ibn Miriam, Hamashiach, yeah, 7 AD to 127 AD. He lived in Kemet till he was 13. He's not 33. He returned to the temple of Jerusalem at 13 years old, his bar mitzvah, and it says he destroyed the temple because he didn't agree with what they was teaching. And so he moved out to the Qumran community, which is John the Baptist and them Yahya, who was living in the wilderness, just living separate because they didn't agree with Jerusalem being all Greekified and shit. They was like, fuck this, we're going to live in the bush, rude boy. So they went and became Essenes, or what you call Magi. You understand what I'm saying? So he wasn't missing, he was hiding because Herod was trying to kill him. He was trying to kill John too. So John was hiding on the island of Patmos, not John the Baptist. I'm talking about John of Zebedee, Jesus' nephew. Yeah, through Joseph. This is excellent. Who's this? True Life Ministry, Robert Ortiz. Yo, respect, man. Come on, 9%. Get through this. Brother, your knowledge is nuts. Big yourself up. Respect. Who said that? The river runners? Okay. I have a theory. The Mayan say the end was 2012. We're 8 years behind, bro. So 2012 was 2020. So that Mayan shit that was talking about 2012 was really, you have to equate it to 2020. All the stuff the Mayan said would happen in 2012 happened in 2020. We're 8 years behind, and the reason for that is because of the Philadelphia experiment in 1943, when they fucked about with the timeline and created multiple timelines. Now today we're dealing with the Mandela effect. We'll have another live and talk about that differently, yeah? Respect for that question. And that's not a theory, bro. That's for real. That's reality. Yeah, so your theory is real. They live among us on the plane. Yeah, they've been living among us since before. Thoth is not Enki. Thoth is the son of Enki. Yeah, Enki in Kemet is Ptah. Yeah, Thoth is the son of Ptah. You understand? Just like Ningisida in Sumerian tablets is Thoth, and he's the son of Enki. So Jehuti, when you go to Egyptian records, is the son of Ptah, and Ptah is the equivalent of Enki, and Jehuti is the equivalent of Ningisida, and Marduk is the equivalent of Amun-Ra, and Ninti is the equivalent of Hathor, and Ishtar is the equivalent of Isis. You could do it all day. You could do it in any pantheon, with the Greek pantheon, Zeus and Apollo and Artemis and all this. You can go to the Indian pantheon with all the Rama and Vishnu and all of this. Same thing, bro. I've got 4 books out. Sorry, I usually put them out. I've just come back online, so I'll sort it out. I've got 6 books and 2 more coming out. But I'll do it another time because of this battery business, yeah? And I'll do some more posts on the book. This is some deep ass info, bro. Thoth is Enki, build the pyramid. Okay, we've dealt with that. The first base was in Africa. The second after the flood was in Jerusalem. This base was in Africa. Yeah, the Absu. The first base was Eridu in Iraq, which was just an outpost. And the gold that they found was just alluvial gold, if you know what that is. It's just floating in the water. They can't use that shit. It's weak. Yeah, let me take this off, because this is going to cut out. They couldn't use it, yeah? So they had to go to South Africa, and where is what's called the Absu. And the Absu is the South African mines that have been confirmed by people like, what's his name? Michael Tellinger. Yeah, where they found the gold mines and the whole shit. Andrew Snedden says, I'm back. We have lost all our history, blacks, and it's being registered by the European. It's in your genetics, bro. Go into your genetic memory bank. It's not lost. It was just sealed away until the end days. We're in the end days now, where it's all being revealed. You just have to plug in. So nothing was never lost. The earth just hides shit from people who are not worthy. I don't care how they look at me. I don't even know who they is. Who is he? Who's they? That spell has been uplifted now. Good things are going to happen. Yes, but there's still people who choose to stay under the spell. The spell has been broken, but there's still people who choose by choice to remain under that spell because of certain paradigms and programming. There is a video of the Pope and the Queen of England bowing to a picture of a black woman. Yeah, the Pope bows every year to the Black Madonna. This is like chapter 3. Treasures in the Sand. Chapter 4 is called the Black Madonna. It's dedicated to women. That chapter took me about a year because I didn't know how to start it. I was like, I want to do a chapter for women so they don't just think I'm out here talking about men. So the Black Madonna, I go into that hard, man. The Pope and them, they pray, and certain different Europeans pray to the Black Madonna every year, while they got other people praying to this white Madonna. Because the Black Madonna is really Isis. It's not even Mary. People, it's Mary and Jesus. No, it's not. It's Isis and Horus. Yeah? Because what it meant for us was that your mum's lap was your first throne as a king. Every king's first throne is on his mother's lap. She waxes him strong into strength. So this was a big thing for us. We used to acknowledge it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Yeah, I'm struggling. So this whole chapter goes into the Black Madonna thing and what it really means. And I have a real intimate discussion with women. Because I feel like as men, we don't do that enough. We just speak about all this macho shit. Born ready in the DNA. Yeah, go to your DNA, man. Talk to your DNA. There's a whole genetic memory bank in your DNA. Remember, melanin in itself
is a genetic memory bank. It can function independent of the brain. So that's like a external hard drive for you. You understand? All your answers are inside there. Like, I turn to my DNA and it leads me where I need to lead. And I don't know how to explain it in any better terms than that. But yo, I turn to my DNA. I don't know much about who it is, but it shows me that history was controlled and twisted. It is. History is written by the victors. There's never been someone who lost who wrote history. The people who win, they write it. And they're not going to write good things about the people they usurped. You understand? Before King James wrote his version of the Bible, he wrote one for Satanism. Not Satanism, he wrote a book called Demonology. And he wrote that book about demonology because at that time they were still having these Reformation wars, the Jacobite wars with the Catholics and the Protestants. King James came from Scotland and had a heavy Catholic background, and England don't like that shit. So what he did was create this demonology book and the first English Bible, because all the Bibles were in Latin and Roman and shit. So most people couldn't read the Bible. You would have it read for you. Do you understand? King James was like, fuck that. I want my Bible so I can read it in English and tell this nigga, let me just pick someone. The Gunfather, you're a demon. And because you're a demon, I'm dashing you on the stake and burning you. You have been condemned. He did it for that, for political reasons, so he could burn up all his enemies. He weren't necessarily a demon worshipper. He was using it to say, okay, you're one of these demons here. You, burn him. You understand what I'm saying? That kind of Game of Thrones shit was going on. But you're right. It's not Satanism. It's demonology, yeah? Kind of the same thing, but it's not. Yes, wow, nostalgia on the mitochondria DNA. Yeah, we got all that in chapter 4. Remember, an X chromosome is bigger than a Y chromosome. An X chromosome has 4 legs. Yeah, a Y chromosome is an X chromosome that shrunk and one of the legs is broke off. So it's a handicapped woman chromosome. That's why you find in the word woman, the word man is inside the word woman. Do you understand? The word woman isn't inside the word man. Here's another one. Everything on a woman's body works. Yeah? Everything. Yeah? Now, the people that say man came before woman, ask them, why does a man have nipples? Because a man's nipples don't work. Everything on a woman works. Remember what I said prior? The X chromosome is bigger than a Y chromosome. There's more genetic material involved in it than a Y chromosome. The Y chromosome shrunk and one of the legs is broke off. So that means the man is a hybridized version of the woman. That's why we have nipples. The nipples ain't for nothing. You could take a man's nipples off. It's not for nothing. Yeah, a woman's nipples is for something. So I'm just giving you something to think about here. So them religious people, they back to front because genetics and science proves that women was here way before men. Yeah, and even in the first 12 weeks of a baby's life, yeah, well, it's neutral. It don't have no gender, but it's closer to a woman than it is to a man. You understand what I'm saying? You could even get away with saying, yo, they're women first. And then after the 12th week, if it decides, it becomes a man. Yeah. So in Kemet, in Africa, I should say, not just Kemet, we realized that. So we based our sciences off matriarchal principles, putting our women on a pedestal. They could vote, they could own property, they could rule the country. I'm not talking about just be the king's wife. She could be just her. She's running shit. She don't need a fucking king. You understand what I'm saying? Same with all the black cultures, Sumeria, everything. When you get to Europe, women didn't have rights till the 20th century. They had to chuck themselves in front of horses at the horse races. Oh, God, yeah, women's rights and all that shit. They still trying to get rights now. You understand? Our women always had rights, and I'm not going to go on like we was perfect with it. Like they're exactly the same as us, because no, it weren't that. But we did acknowledge, yo, they just as much human as us. They got just as much right as we do. A woman can divorce. Yeah. Most white people's cultures, a woman couldn't divorce. The man has to divorce her. She can't own no property. Even when they're telling you Greece weren't no democracy because women couldn't vote. What kind of democracy where women can't vote? It must be some homo democracy. You understand what I'm saying? It's different. We had Hatshepsut. We had Queen Sobek Neferu. We had all them Kendakis down in Merowe kicking Roman ass. Come on, find me another country that has queens like this. You can't find me a queen like that in India, in none of India's history. You can't find me a queen like that in none of white people's history. Absolute. You can't say Boudica or Joan of Arc. Boudica ran one tribe and had her head chopped off. When we're talking about these Egyptian queens and stuff, and these Kendakis from Meroe and stuff, they were running an empire as big as Europe. When you talk about from the bottom of Sudan to the top of Egypt, that's like as big as Europe. Do you understand? One person running that shit. Yeah. So we always had it as matriarchal, and that's why that statue meant so much to us. As a Christian, that statue of Mary and Jesus, what does it mean? They'll give you some stupid meaning. Oh, it means this or it means that. Nah, it means every man, his first throne is his mum's lap, and you have to respect his mum. Yeah? And heaven is at the feet of your mum. Yeah? So you can't be dissing women and dissing your mum and shit and expect to go and live a nice life in paradise, mate. You fuck. How we sleep, what we eat, how and what we learn. I don't know what that means, bro. We were meant to know all this so we could evolve. Yes. What book you reading from? What book am I reading from? What are you on about? Fuck knows. I like what you're saying. So do I, bro. Samuel Jackson, respect. Seek out as many Dr. Malachi Z. York books as possible. Yeah, because right now they're so expensive, and he said this would happen. He said a time will come when the books won't be so cheap. My Torah, Dr. York Torah from Amharic Hebrew, I paid £30 for that in 2006. You go online now, you're looking at £1,000. So it makes so much sense, even if you find the PDFs and just collect them in one place. Because if you really want, you could print them yourself. You understand? I run my own publishing company. So if I come across a PDF and I think, bastard, I want that in a book, I'm taking it to my printer and say, yo, put this motherfucker in a book. Even if I make the cover myself and slap it on my shelf. That's how I feel about books. You understand what I'm saying? But yes, Natty Natural. Guys, that's best practice. Seek out these Dr. York books. You can get a lot of the PDFs on Scribed. If you got a Scribed account, they've got loads of them that other people don't have. You could still probably find some at the All Eyes on Egypt store if they still running that stuff online and that. But yeah, I recommend anyone to get them Dr. York books, and also a Black's Law Dictionary, which is about the same price. Oh, someone already put it. Natty Natural, you can get it on Scribed. Yeah, shout out to you. And the books need to start left to right, not the new ones right to left. Yeah, because you got to understand, these grafted people, these inorganic humans, they're back to front. And that's where you get dyslexia from. Dis means against, and lexia means a law, like lexicon. So dyslexia makes them back to front. That's why they look at dog as their best friend, because if you turn dog around, it's God. You understand that? It's mad, yeah? And that's why dog is a man's best friend, because their dyslexia is telling them that's God. It's serious. And Canaan, which was the one that was born with the leprosy, is the same as canine. Yeah, me G vibe. Okay, I get you. Wish there was more people more aware like you are on here, mate. Listen, if you ever ask yourself why they're more enlightened people, is because enlightenment is like dying, yeah, and people are scared of death. Saint Hat and mustache. Oh, was it you, True Life Ministry? You put that cowboy hat on my head, yeah? I load these up on my YouTube after, yeah. I noticed some of these things come true. Like, hold on, there's a bloody cowboy hat and shit, man. Glasses and nose and all types of shit. Yo, shout out, man. Do they accept crypto? Do they? Who's they? Good stuff, bro. Go on. I've got a video that I posted on here that has an ancient book that shows the design of human. I'd like to see that book. Share it with us, man. Do a post or something and tag me in it. I'm a bit of an amphibian myself. Yo, a lot of us have got different genetics from different alien groups, you know. A lot of us black people have reptilian DNA too, you know. Why do you think they don't come and fuck with us? They leave us alone. Tell me when last you seen a black person getting abducted by aliens. They're not allowed to abduct us like that. They don't want that type of smoke. Nigga, we are the aliens. You get me? So we do have nomos from West Africa, nomos DNA, reptilian DNA, all of that. Anunnaki humanoid DNA, Riskian DNA. Just like certain types of white people got Pleiadian DNA and Aldebaran DNA, and certain Chinese have Tiro DNA. Yo, certain Asian people have Hindu DNA. Yo, man. We are the representatives on earth. Do you get me? So yeah, real talk. True Life Ministry sent a crown again. Yo, how long are these things going on? Please do a part 4. Yeah, I am. I've still got half my notes left. But I thought it's going to drag too long, and I'd always like to address people's questions, because sometimes I do forget. I just go on and on with Sagittarius, so I can go on a rant, and then I forget half the shit that I was supposed to make a point. Like, I will skip points, and then when I watch it back, I'm like, yo, I never even finished this thing. Yeah. So yeah, more time I'll do that when I think, okay, I've given enough information. It's a lot, so let me stop and just address the comments. Yeah. Nah, thank you, bro. This is what I do. I came here to do this. Big ups for the info. Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate all you guys, man. Social media has not been treating me nice. It's not a nice place for me. It's not like I get a lot of hassle from social media because they just don't want me out here. It's obvious why. You've heard me now. There's no space for me here. I'm surprised that TikTok is letting me do this. If you notice, I'm trying not to post. I used to be flinging out ninja stars, but I've realized now that's probably my downfall. I've just got too much powerful stuff to just be hitting them like that. I need to like space it and just take time. And so this account has been the most successful. As you see, certain videos have got like, what, 70,000 views, nearly 4,000 likes and shit, 2,000 likes. I've never had that. I'm not one of them guys that are out here looking for likes. I'm just trying to get a message out. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to every one of you, especially if you shared this live and brought more traffic to this message, because this is a liberating message for humanity. It's not no scam. It's not got no political agenda or no religious agenda or none of that shit. This is for us so we can get it together, and so you can go and verify it for yourself and say, bastard, that Jidefre guy know what he was talking about, man, because look, now I can see this. That's what's important. It's not important for me to have a big following. It's important that when you go away from here, you see the difference that it's made to you. It's made a difference to you. It's benefited you. You can stand on it. You can use it in your own. You understand? That's what I do. That's why I write books. Link me on TZT Book Mafia. The last time I posted this book on here, it's got a saying that Hitler said about the Jews. They fucking shut my account. Yeah, I went sleep. It had something like 10,000 likes on there. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Went sleep happy, woke up. It's like, your shit has been deleted for repeated strikes and that. I was like, oh, God. You understand? So I don't like to speak about that kind of stuff. TikTok's really harsh. Instagram, they don't care. They might give me a 30-day ban or something, but it's not that peak for them, you know? But YouTube and TikTok, nah, I'm not talking about them books on here, man. It just defeats the purpose. From New York to Florida is 13,000 miles. I don't know what planet you want, but it's 13 miles from NE. What's that? Newark? I don't know. Yeah, I'm saying Google it. Yeah, the distance of the space station from the surface of the Earth, and then Google the distance of a drive from New York to Florida, and you'll get the same distance. And that's coming from Tyson Neil deGrasse, who's a scientist. Yeah, that's not coming from me. Yeah, I'm giving you what Tyson deGrasse said on his interview when they asked him, have they gone to space? He said no. And he said the space station, he told you how high it is. And he told you that's like a drive from New York to Florida. There you go. So 60 miles up in the air, yeah? 60 miles, New York to DC, it might be that. 60 miles up in the air. That's not far. That's in lower Earth orbit, Leo. They ain't gone outside of the dome. And the sun and the moon is inside the dome. I'm not saying there can't be one outside the dome, other shit. Of course they can. But from what I've researched, there's a sun inside this dome with us. And that's the sun that gives us light. Yeah? And there's probably more than one. We got all kind of fake suns and shit up there now. $1,300 miles isn't that far though, you know. Pretty sure he meant New York to DC. It probably is. You know, check it out. You've got a phone in your hand. Google it. I've seen those images in my book, African Women, Original Guardian Angel. Yeah, man, don't ramp. The African woman is the portal to life. Yeah, into this realm. No matter where you come from, even if you come from another world, to acclimatize to this world, you have to come through the black woman. Otherwise, you ain't gonna last long. Belief is B-L-I-F. Yeah, just like Or if you say believe, it's be lying to Eve. Remember this? And Leo said, I'm going to put enmity between your seed and her seed. Notice he said her seed. He didn't call it Adam's seed. He called it Eve's seed. Like we're going back to this matriarchal shit. Yeah. So when you say believe, that's lying to Eve. Be lie Eve. Okay. But that's true too. Be lie F. Yeah. Like television, telling lies to your vision. Yes, you are correct. And that's Natty Natural. Yo, Natty Natural, you're killing it. You need to be like, yo, you need to be doing this too. When it's part 2, what time, bastard. I've gone live for 90 minutes. Oh, don't mess about. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. No, Dr. York isn't dead, but that person they got in the cell, I wouldn't trust him. I don't read none of that stuff that came out since after all that shit happened. I only read the stuff that he wrote before all that stuff went down. I don't agree with no Malachi K. York, Kabina York. I believe all that shit is COINTELPRO, even the Sabian shit. But I'm not going to slander it strictly because it's still coming from Dr. York. So rather than make a rift and go at these Sabians like some, I don't want to do that. But at the same time, I'm not going to have nothing to do with that. I've got about 60 Dr. York books myself over 25 years of my collecting and research. I rely on them. Yeah. I think some of the aliens are us in the future. Some of the greys have come back from the future to now because this was the point where shit went south. Right now, we're at that point where everything went south on one timeline. Remember, we got multiple timelines. So certain aliens are coming from the future off of one timeline. That's correct. And that's to Cowboy Crypto. Yes. Are you a part of AEO, Ancient Egyptian Order? No, I'm not. I'm not a part of any order or anything. I'm Jidefre Memnon. That's it. Yeah. So what is going to happen next? By coronation or COVID 1984? And it will tell you the whole shit. Like, I don't have an hour to go through all that right now because what's going to happen next is a lot. And the last question is big up yourself, or not question. Very much appreciated and enjoyed. We'll be tuning into part 2. Respect Natty Natural. Respect to everyone who tuned in. Sorry my battery ran out, yeah, and I had to like move the thing and all of that, but we black people, we don't care about none of that shit, as long as we get the work, right? Yeah, so salute to everyone. I'm going to be back tomorrow. It will probably be in the night time again. I'll come and do something in the day to remind you guys, yeah? Salute to all of you real ones out there. Peace to the gods and the earths.